Greetings! Thank you for your interest in volunteering with ChopArt. Your time is a valuable gift to our teens as they use the arts as a tool to navigate their current and emotional challenges. This orientation is required for anyone coming into contact with our youth. ChopArt was founded in 2010 and has served almost 40,000 youth worldwide since our inception. Our mission is to provide dignity, community, and opportunity to middle and high school age youth experiencing homelessness through multidisciplinary. This program includes a shelter lead volunteer who provides mentorship and consistency for our youth, impact assessment, field trip, a circumstance in which the youth lacks a permanent residence. This varies from living in unprotected environments, couch surfing, living in cars, to living in traditional or non-traditional homeless shelters. Unaccompanied youth are youth who are experiencing homelessness without their guardians. Some of the reasons youth experience homelessness include conflict in the home, their sexual orientation, being taken or sold into sex trafficking, family deportation, teen pregnancy, family finance. A major part of surviving as a homeless youth is to remain anonymous by blending in to avoid challenges associated with shame, policy against unaccompanied homeless minors, and predators. There are currently no emergency youth shelters available to homeless minors in Atlanta. That means there's nowhere they can walk off the street to gain a bed as a minor who is experiencing homelessness. There are long-term shelters. Over 3,300 youth experience homelessness in Atlanta on any given night. In the United States, 60% of our homeless population is comprised of minors. That's 330,000 youth on any given night in our country who experience homelessness. Our standards for care are guidelines for what is and is not permissible for interacting with our teens. There are some everyday actions we may take without necessarily considering how triggering it may be to one of our youth. So it's ChopArt's job to make sure our youth are typical teenagers. They have crushes on each other, want to make friends, and are constantly finding ways to reinvent themselves. We encourage you to interact with our teens in a way that reflects that normalcy. You may meet a youth who reminds you of yourself or someone you know. This may tempt you to gravitate to that youth and unknowingly show favoritism. This could be a trigger for other youth around you who may feel unwelcomed or rejected. You will often be in situations in which you help the youth think of and execute their ideas. You should ask them questions to build, and the improper way to help youth work through their creative process is redirecting the conversation from the art they're working on to their circumstances. You may have teens who are very open about their circumstances and others who are not as open in the same room. In this scenario, sometimes when looking for similarities in the youth, you may notice that two or more youth have experienced similar traumas. However, we would love for you to build a strong and trusting relationship with our youth. You are encouraged to get to know them and share yourself with them as well. Although you may want to begin an independent friendship with the youth outside of the shelter, in your interest, the interest of the youth, their shelter organization, we know that you want to document your time with the teens and share about the wonderful work they're doing. Taking photos of their work and youth. Please don't take any photos of our teens without their permission. We encourage you not to take any photos before your third time seeing the teen. You are required by law to report any instance of any youth alluding to hurting themselves or others, even if it's delivered as a joke. That's all. Today you have learned about ChopArt, youth homelessness, and how you can be the best advocate for their emotional and mental health. Please